So today I want to talk about the ignition coil. They moved it from behind the motor up to here where the horn used to be. And we used to have a cover that was called a cowbell that covered that horn. Well, they moved the horn down here by your shifter peg, and frankly, it's pretty ugly. But the ignition coil is actually not too bad looking. They put a little Harley logo on it, and having your plugs run down here is a nice look. But I wondered, is there something we could do to dress this up? If we go out to Harley-Davidson's main website, we can search for parts. And I recently searched for the coil cover. And it pops up with these options. And I really like this one. You can see here it's a black with an edge cut chrome. Pretty good looking. Let's click on that. And right here it says, make sure the part fits. Check fitment. And if you do that, you can put in your year and model, and it will only show you parts that fit your bike. But over the years of shopping for Harley stuff and browsing this website, I usually find that works against you, because Harley-Davidson has a lot of parts that actually fit your bike, but the technical specifications say no, and therefore it doesn't show you the part. So you miss out on a lot of things when you search by your model. Now, I'm not encouraging you to look without searching for your model and being specific to make sure it fits, but I'm warning you that there are parts that fit Harley-Davidson models, but the website says they don't. So looking at this one, if we go down to the bottom, you'll see the description here, and we have the details. And it says right here, it fits 18 and later soft tail models. They also give you the installation instructions, which I've called this out before. It's really great. The instructions for all Harley-Davidson parts are out here now in PDF format. So if you've lost your installation manual for a part, and like you have a bike that you're going to trade in, you want to take that part off and then put it on your next bike, but you don't have the manual anymore, you can usually find it out here this way. So what would be the concern? It certainly looks like the exact same fitment as on these new bikes. It looks like the exact same ignition coil. Well, I guess what we could do is go search the part number for a soft tail ignition coil and compare that to a new Harley-Davidson Touring model ignition coil, and let's see if the part numbers are the same. If we hover over the parts menu, we have a new option over here called Browse OEM Service Parts. I've shown this a couple times in my videos. This is really helpful. So it'll let you search for a model and a part, and you can search by browse by catalog. So if we go down here, let's pick a 2019, and we'll pick a soft tail, and it really doesn't matter. The coil cover is the same on all of them. Let's pick a Heritage Classic. And you can see here it shows us all the diagrams. And these diagrams are so useful at trying to figure out how parts go together or come apart. And it's completely free. So if we go up here, you can also search. So if we search the word coil and hit enter on that, we can see we get the clutch, the electronic control module, and the wiring harness. Well, we look at this, we will get that coil. So you'll have to scoot around a little bit, and there it is. Now this is the back of the coil versus the front, but it sure looks the same. You can see that bolt goes through the center and bolts right here to this mount. All looks exactly the same as on my bike. So if we look here, this is part number 5. So if you scroll down, it's part number 5, and it's coil ignition stylized, meaning it has a logo on it. It's $118.39. So I guess if we screw it up, you could end up with $118 short. But what could go wrong? So what we'll do is we'll take a look at the part number here. It's 3160067. So let's compare that to my bike and see if it's the same part number. So back in the parts, we're now at the 2023 CVO and the Road Glide model. Wouldn't matter, Road Glide or Street Glide. We'll again search for coil. And here we go. We end up with that same diagram. And if we look at the part here, we can see it's flipped around this time. Here's the bracket, there's the screw in the center, the hole for the screw, and here's the part. So it looks much the same as the previous diagram, but it's just flipped around. In this case, we're looking for part number 7. So if we scroll down and look, we have the same coil ignition stylized. but the part number is different. It's 31600,194 versus on the soft tail where it's 0.67. The price is the same regardless. So the part numbers are not the same, but it sure looks like it would fit. So here we have it. Coil cover, black machine cut. Fits 18 and later soft tail models. But will it fit my 23.5 CVO or your CVO 24 or 23.5 or Road Glide or Street Glide? Well, we're going to find out. So here's the part. Got the Harley logo, machine cut. It looks pretty good, pretty decent quality. Is it worth the $80? Well, I'm not sure, but it does look good. I did notice here it has some pads, so it'll snug up against that coil cover. So it looks like it's the right size, but we'll find out. We'll take a look at the instructions. So go back to the part and go down to the details and then click on installation instructions, and we'll get the PDF version of the instruction manual. It says, for model fitment information, see the parts and accessories catalog section of harley-davidson.com. Warning, rider and passenger safety depend on the correct installation of the kit. If the procedure is not within your capabilities or you do not have the correct tools, have a Harley-Davidson dealer perform the installation. Improper installation of the kit could result in death or serious injury. Well, I sure hope a coil cover won't create any death or injury situations, but I leave that up to you. So it notes here that we're going to remove the original coil mounting screw and discard it. So that means the kit has a new one. And then we'll install the coil cover over the coil. It notes that there are 3 different kits of this version, and one has a screw and the coil cover. Another one has the screw, washer, coil cover, and a spacer. Well, we have all 3 of those in our box. It says tighten the screw, and then that gives you 2 different torque values. So torque of 14.9 to 18.9 Newton meters, 11 to 14 foot-pounds. And actually down below, if you have the other kit, the one that requires the spacer, which we have, we're going to go 11 to 12 foot-pounds. So I'm not sure if you don't have the spacer, you want to go up to 14 foot-pounds, but if you do have the spacer, you don't want to go more than 12 foot-pounds. If we blow up the drawing, we get a good view of what we're trying to accomplish here. So we have the spacer, and then the cover, and then a washer, and then the screw. It doesn't look too tough, but let's hope it fits. We have a T27. You can tell there was some Loctite on there, but it's not too tight. So here's our old bolt. Nope, no Loctite. Felt like it, but I don't see any, maybe a little bit. If we compare that to the new bolt, we can see the new bolt is significantly longer, and the new bolt has Loctite applied already. So we have a spacer. We'll put the spacer in. And then we have the cover. We'll align the spacer so it pops in the hole, so that the spacer is coming right through the hole. We have the washer and then our new bolt. I'm going to run this in by hand. We'll switch back to our ratchet. So it says between 11 and 12 foot-pounds, so we'll go 11 and a half. There we have it. Ignition coil cover for a Softail. Works just fine on my 23.5 CVO. It looks pretty good. Well, there you have it. Coil cover on these new era touring Harleys. The Softail one seems to fit just fine. But I caution you, I'm an enthusiast, not a professional. So maybe there's some reason why it doesn't fit. I couldn't find it. It works just fine for me. But use my information at your own risk. I'll put a link to this one in the description if you want to check it out. So I hope you found this information useful. And if you did, you'll go share it with someone else. But until next time, in the Friction Zone.